Hey, this is Idea Cochise of Cochise Rome. We're in on the weight class for UFC 160. We have the UFC Heavyweight Championship belt on the line with Antonio Bigfoot Silva facing off against and challenging the champion Cain in a rematch. Lots of heavyweights and light heavyweights going on in this card. Glover was once again fighting. However, I think that his overall record and standing in both the MMA world rankings is a little bit skewed because of just the wide range of competition he's been facing, especially in his last 4 to 5 bouts. I do see him winning in the main card of UFC 160, but we'll see what his competition is like. Heavyweight bout. Mark Hunt versus Junior Dos Santos. I had to wait and see if this fight was even going to take place due to the visa issues that Mark Hunt had. If he was a different fighter, I would say that all the distractions that Hunt is currently facing would affect his ability to concentrate on JDS. But something about his mentality tells me that the simplest, and I mean that in a good way, approach to fighting will allow himself not to be caught up with all the other things going on for him today. He's like the big, inefficient, late-blossoming engine that could. Unfortunately, he's facing the world-ranked second best, and in my opinion, best heavyweight in the division, and the former UFC heavyweight champion, Junior Dos Santos. Mark started his UFC on the wrong note. Since then, he's been on a streak that impressed all, including me. This performance ranged from comedic like his Ben Rothwell fight to devastating like the Congo and Stephan bouts. Matt made sure it would be more of a logical matchup today by getting that more when I talk about the main event. JDS, as I said, for all of his fights since I started this back in 2011, has a very great combination of footwork, heavy hands, and just overall speed in the division. Hunt has been in too many slugfests against fighters that don't have the experience in that more rugged style of fighting. And I think that's kind of gave Mark Hunt an advantage in a lot of his bouts. They want to swing with him. The former K1 champ will have issues with someone that has the courage to bang but smart enough not to take unnecessary damage. The speed and angles in which JDS possesses is just too much for Mark Hunt. Late blossoming in the heavyweight division in MMA could be worse than any other because the perception is harder to change with such a smaller talent pool. Junior Dos Santos was going to win this fight. I'm not going to say he's going to finish, though. UFC Heavyweight Championship bout. The challenger, Antonio Bigfoot Silva, versus the champion, Cain. This fight illustrates that even though the UFC's heavyweight division has come a long way, it still has a long way to go. Overeem was set to face Junior Dos Santos for the championship, which JDS lost to Cain when he got caught with high levels of testosterone, something that no one's really talking about right now. Then there was that cupcake fight that was supposed to lead to a title shot, which he lost to now the number one contender, Bigfoot Silva. Now we have a rematch that nobody really wants to see. I have a lot of respect for Cain. Outside of both JDS fights, I've always picked him. He has great cardio, speed, and a high fighting IQ. In the past, before his first reign, I felt they relied too much on his wrestling and made a couple of fights boring. Since the Big Nogueira fight, that's the last time we saw that version of the pure wrestler fighter that Cain was. He's evolved to something much greater than that today. The bloodbath that was in the first match between Silva and Cain left no question about who dominated on the ground. Yes, the blood could have affected the visions and coordinations of Bigfoot, but really, it's one of the more visceral reasons why fights are stopped in the first place. In a recent interview, Silva said that for him to really make adjustments about the last fight, he would have to be born in a different body. I like the fact that he's not concerned about the last fight so much and won't leave hang-ups for him mentally walking into this championship fight. Like Mark Hunt, Bigfoot has been repeatedly doubted, but he's been proving the critics wrong for the most part. I'm guilty of having a lack of faith towards the giant myself, but damn it, everyone remembers the knockout over the ring, but few remember that Silva was clearly getting outclassed for 11 minutes in that fight. Unless there's a major error on Cain's part, I just don't see him losing the belt. Cain probably within the third round.